Science 21 Curriculum, Grade 3, Unit 4 Overview. Grade 3, Unit 4 includes live animals for students to observe throughout the unit. Although butterfly development is highly engaging for students, we must consider the educational purpose of using these animals during this unit. This unit is the student's first deep dive into the external evidence of inheritance and variation of traits. In Grade 1, students will have investigated how an offspring is similar, but not exactly like its parent. In Grade 3, they will investigate and develop models of the typical phases that both plants and animals have during their life cycle. The standards articulate these as birth, growth, reproduction, and death. Students do not need to explain the mechanisms of any of these phases. Instead, they need to see that these phases are common between organisms. Students will also analyze and interpret data that traits are inherited from plants and animal parents. These traits can have variation within a group of similar organisms. Another performance expectation is that students will use evidence to support a claim that the environment can influence some traits. This process of traits being influenced by the environment is a critical field of study in science called epigenetics. This study in science is essential because the environment can influence some traits of an organism. For example, height and weight during growth and development can be affected by the available resources to a plant or animal. Finally, students will be constructing an explanation for how variation of traits provide advantages in surviving, finding mates, and reproducing. Once again, we will not have students explain the reproduction mechanism, only that certain variation in traits allow for advantages. Sometimes the variation of trait is advantageous in one circumstance, but the same trait could be detrimental in another circumstance. As you can see from the disciplinary core ideas from the standards, students will be investigating 5 different DCIs in this unit, one that is unique to New York State. Each lesson is coded for these DCIs. When possible, some lessons were designed to address more than one DCI to help students make connections between the performance expectations and these core science ideas. Observing butterflies allows students to have a real-world application of growth and development. What better way to learn about the inheritance of traits, trait variations, and life cycles than to study a living creature up close? Although the butterflies have a metamorphic life cycle, this unique life cycle is not the focus of this unit. Students should observe the patterns in different organisms' life cycles that have similarities so that they can use evidence to describe this phenomenon of life cycles. They can also compare differences in the patterns on the wings to see variations between individuals of the same species. And of course, we will continue to have students employ various practices during the sense-making tasks in each lesson. To prepare for the butterfly lessons, each teacher will order painted lady butterfly larvae using the voucher in the kit, and these larvae will be delivered to your school. The manual has extensive notes about what to do with the larvae as well as the butterflies. Also included in the kit is a butterfly journal for each student to track the butterfly development and to record their observations to act as evidence in explanations. Lesson 9 addresses the butterflies specifically. However, students should be observing the larvae throughout the unit. Important note, most of the materials for the larvae and the caterpillars were included in the Unit 3 kits, not the Unit 4 kits. This kit organization allows the teacher to have more flexibility to order the live animals to suit your specific classroom needs. Much of the preparation, however, will occur when the larvae have arrived. Once the butterflies have emerged, you can complete Lesson 9. The butterflies can be released into the wild once students have completed their observations. Some teachers like to have a release party, including poetry and music. Be sure to release the butterflies in a place that offers bushes or low vegetation.